Hi, it's been a while, hasn't it? So it's been there's a lot that has been going on, both the usual, but also a little bit more extra things. And it's so interesting because I have these moments in which my life can look really structured, and I feel that, oh, this is, the way it should be. I'm doing everything that I have to, plus I'm doing some extra things. But that doesn't last, because the reality is that my life, because of what I do, is not a structure. And at the moment, I don't have the possibility of looking for a structure. And often not, I feel that I feel let down by myself, basically, when I am not able to maintain that structure, even though I know it's not possible. So I have responsibilities, as many other adults have. My main responsibility at the moment, my main priority is studying, but also I have a job, and I have also many other adulthood responsibilities. And then I have also the things that I want to do, because I am a creative person, and I am a person that is so full of ideas, and I want to do so many things. But I found myself in a situation where I'm not doing anything right, and it's a really harmful feeling, to be honest, because I know I could, sometimes I can, but it lasts little because of the life that I have. And even though I am aware of it, it's a bit not a nice feeling. And I've been thinking about how to approach it, because I started making videos that were quite simple, and then I started to think about more structure, and I try to be more scripted, and try to think of it before I do it. And it's not that it is not possible to do so. However, the reality is that I don't have the time at the moment to do all of the ideas that I would like to do, and to discuss so many of the subjects that I would like to discuss in a manner in which we have an scripted thing, and you're like, like making all of the steps to have this big idea and to do it. So I kind of, I feel that I am not combining anything, like I'm not really doing anything at the end of the day. But I want to, because I think that sharing, it's such a powerful thing, and having the tools to share it, it's an amazing privilege. And so I have no expectations. Like, I want to be very clear that I am talking to nobody. Like, in my head, I am just talking to the void, because I just want to share it. If it's helpful, if a discussion comes up, if new points are made, and um, things happen, that's lovely. But for me, it's just about often not sharing. And often not, when you are talking about something, whether it is a DIY project, whether it is an important subject, in any way, case, shape, or form, you are. At least I am trying to digest things and trying to simplify it, because it's once you simplify it, and once you can share it in a way that it can be understood, that you can often also be aware that you have got it, that you understand it yourself. Here's the thing: I find that the system that we live in is a mess. It's a complete mess. And in all of these things of life that I talked about, work, study, responsibilities, also hobbies, and all of it is interconnected, and all of it is it's made out of things that are as related to each other as they can be seen on their own. And it is as simple as it is complex. And I find that it is important to be aware of the complexity of it, but I think it is also important, at least for me, to try to write it down to the most basic things. And I find that, for me, once I am able to express it, again, once I'm able to digest everything, and am I able to discuss it, I can I can feel a bit more at ease, and I feel that that is something that is more important and useful to share than staying into the complex things. Of course, there's so many aspects of this that can come into place, and it's not that I want to get into it right now, but I just wanted to explain that in order to explain also how I think from now on I'm just going to upload things. I'm not going to be doing a lot of structure stuff because I don't have the time to do so. But there's so many things that I want to talk about and that I want to discuss. And whether it is a video that comes up just a couple of minutes, whether it is something that goes a little bit longer, I don't know, because sometimes I start talking and I just stop. But sometimes I'm like, yeah, that's all I wanted to say, and that's it. I often not find myself doing it on TikTok mainly. Like there's a video that I see and I'm like, oh, that's an interesting topic, and I'm able to talk about it in less than 10 minutes, let's say. And that is lovely. That is something that I love to do. It's just that on TikTok, I think the dynamic is a little bit different. So I think I'm going to be think of it as just in general. I want to talk about something, and if I have the possibility to sit down, whether here or anywhere, to talk about it, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to upload it. I want to allow myself to not be so connected with the structure that I ended up not sharing anything and feeling that, I'm keeping everything in. And again, it's both in regards to very important matters of society, but it is as connected with DIY, and it is as connected with I needed to fix some pants and I did it. It is very similar because it all boils down to the same thing. It is everyday life is connected with the world that we're living, and all of these social, political, economic things that have happened in the history and that are happening today. And for me, it is important to be aware of it because it allows me to keep myself in the present and not fall into the main thing that I want to avoid, which is falling into the, well, but I'm okay. So I'm just going to focus on some things rather than others. I don't want to fall into closing an eye when some things happen. I don't want to fall into the narrative of being like, oh, well, it's difficult for everyone. And so, no thoughts are empty. And not to deny that the awareness of the so many things happening in the world and the correlations with everyday life can be quite a lot, which is another part that I might want to talk about it. I don't know how, because that is the most tricky part, which is the mental health aspect. In my journey of understanding my neurodivergence and in my journey of asking for help, which is not easy at all, I find myself often not in that area, lacking the most words and lacking the most in trying to share it. Because it's tricky, because it is the trickiest part of it all. But again, I want to try. I want to try. At the end of the day, we are all going to die. And the system that we're living is made up. And at the same time, we can have a nice life and we can share and we can try to do better, be better, and maybe change. And it's not, I think, especially with, again, the situation of the world right now, I think when you talk about change, when you talk about trying to, do something, I think a lot of people jump on the idea of the revolutionary, of those people that are on the front lines, let's call it that. But the reality is that the change it's in everyday life, and that's why it is interconnected. Because it isn't sharing how to change a button that fall down from your jacket, that fell down from your pants or whatever. You are actually going back into what it is that is important, which is humanity. So it is sharing information that you got because of experience, because of knowledge that you got for whatever reason. The beauty of humanity is that we have that information and we now have the tools to share it, and that may allow us to deal with the world that we live in. And I think it allows us to go back to community, which is the thing that I guess I'm trying to have in this world that it is so that it's so um, trying to lead us to individuality, and it is again the tiny things that we do every day that can lead us to make actually revolutionary acts. I find myself sometimes, when you're driving and someone gets you annoyed because maybe you're already late, maybe you're already in your head because things are going on, work, again, so many things. And I find myself sometimes getting angry because someone is not crossing on the crossroad. They're crossing maybe a little bit farther ahead or behind. And I find myself irritated by it. I'm like, "Ugh, the cross was like over there. Was so like I jump from 0 to 100. It's not something that I like to do because, first of all, let's bring it back. And is it really the end of the world? I mean, if I'm driving, I should still be paying attention to the road. And also, people that are walking have the right to the road, whether they are crossing on the crosswalk or not. They have it, they have the right. And so, what's the point of me getting angry? Where does that anger actually come from? And is it fair that I put all of my anger on this person that is doing things that maybe I have done? Because sometimes maybe I cross the road, not on the crosswalk. So, you see how sadly the world that we live in leads us to this mentality of just thinking about yourself and just trying to keep everything on your own. And if you have the privilege, you close an eye because you already have so much issues to deal with anyway. Um, and that's what I want to avoid. And it's difficult for me because, on a personal level, I would like to discuss things on a certain way. And I would like to share discussions that are a bit more structured. However, the reality is that at this point I can do that. I don't have the time to do so. But I do want to talk about things. So I'm just gonna try. Which is the thing that I guess we're all doing in this world. We're just trying to exist. We're just trying to deal with everything. And I guess that's what I'm going to do because I'm trying. I'm trying to go to work and do what I have to do. But I'm also trying to find the time to study, and I'm trying to find how to understand the things that I am studying, because it's not easy, which is another discussion in on itself. But I'm also want to do, DIY, and I want to do crafts and I want to, have nice things that I want to create. And so it's not easy, absolutely, but I guess I'm just trying, and I want to say that because if I start pushing videos that are like of a subject and it's not a structure or anything, it might sound or look a little bit weird, understandable. But yeah, I just wanted to explain it. I already took quite a lot. I mean, we're over 10 minutes, which is more than a TikTok. But yeah, I just wanted to say that. In any case, we'll see what happens and just keep on going. Have a nice day.